have to stop like posting about him because I've just been like, the more you post about something on Threads, the more you look at stuff. So like
he's been going off.
Now I'm just unintentionally. It's not like I didn't wake up last week and was like, oh, I'm gonna shred Forrest Frank. It just like happened organically, and I've got to stop because like now every interaction that I have, this one woman on Threads, she's a Christian leader of some kind, and she posted, if you're listening to demonic music, you need to stop now because the demonic influence of the world is going to get to you. And I commented, this is a crazy way to tell us to stay away from Forrest Frank.
That was a bit much. It's funny.
And she commented back immediately and said, did I mention Forrest Frank? And I had to say, no, that was a joke.
Oh, boy.
I can actually probably tell you what she's responded with.
Folks.
Okay, keep going.
I mean, welcome into New Way Stories podcast. I am your host, Jesse Roberts, and this is a comedy podcast where we talk creativity, comics, and cinema. And but today it's very serious. It's very serious.
Yep.
Because people are out there, man, and and they just. They keep doing people things, and that's tough. It's tough, and so we gotta talk about it.
Yep.
What we're gonna talk about is we're talking about self-promotion, and in the tension of self-promotion. Is it sleazy? Is it helpful? Because the reality is that, like, especially in today's world, you can't do anything without like a modicum of self-promotion. And but if you lean too much into it, you are like a sleaze bag, and I'm all for that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Talk about it from a Christian music perspective, but also just from an artist and a human perspective. And we're just going to in the beginning here, we're going to dabble into a little bit more of Forrest Frank because he's a gift that keeps on giving, as Ben's text said earlier this week. With me is my co-host Darius Giles. He's he just is a caveman and gives us some insight every now and again.
Comedy good.
Only a Neanderthal can. And then
Joke and make laugh good.
Ben the producer.
Minority good. White man bad. I'm a liberal Neanderthal. Oh, DEI good. Oh, yeah.
Meritocracy bad.
Okay, so we're going to get into this right off the bat. I know it's New Way Stories way. Our new way is to talk about whatever we want for 45 minutes and then talk about the subject for 5 minutes. We're gonna flip the script today. We're gonna talk about the
whatever
subject.
we want for the full 50.
Yeah. No. So okay, Forrest Frank, he put out this video that that was like, I'm not going to go to the Dove Awards or the Grammys because I don't think that people should be nominated, or like these awards should not be given out for like Christian art.
He said, I'm not going to take trophies for stuff that's for Jesus and from Jesus.
Not going to take trophies for Jesus, from Jesus. Here is the tough thing about that, though. In order to be nominated for the Dove Awards or the Grammys, you have to submit your work. So
so good.
You have to intentionally do that.
Yeah.
The Grammys are not searching you out. Listen, if they were doing that, we would have been nominated for the best
a long time ago.
But since they blocked my earlier, it's always send back to mailer. They aren't getting my newest submissions. Ugh.
That's funny.
So, and then this ties in real quick to something that we didn't get to in the last podcast. His feelings were hurt that if you haven't paid attention to the last few podcasts,
which hopefully
from
you
us,
honestly haven't. I haven't paid attention to Forrest.
No, come on.
Sorry.
No, his feelings were hurt because he wrote a song about his back being broken, and then Corey Asbury made a joke about it, and then his feelings are hurt. Okay, they actually are like remixing his song, or they're doing his bit.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. you have to draw a line and you have to stick to the line. Okay, this is something that I've always appreciated about my mom. I've talked about it before. She was more strict with films and everything than anybody else. She doesn't like witchcraft, okay?
Yep.
So she didn't let us watch Lord of the Rings. When I was like, Mom, there's actually a Christian message. She's like, I don't care. I don't like sorcery. Even The Wizard of Oz. It was like, she's like, I'm going to let this go, but like, you should know that it's icky. And not even just the Wicked Witch of the West.
The bad guy's
not
a
a fan of Glinda, the good witch, because there's no such thing as a good witch. It's very confusing to a young child. So my mom drew a line and she stuck to it. I've always appreciated that. And the fact that you go, hey, listen, it's not cool, guys. It's not cool. Now, you can have that opinion, but now you can't ever laugh at the lady who got bronchitis, even though she didn't have time for that. Because
nobody has time for that, to be honest.
Nobody has time for bronchitis. Here's the thing. Her house caught on fire, and she got bronchitis from the smoke. And that's like a real tragedy in her life, her and her family. And we remixed it, and it's hilarious. I
forgot about that.
I'm here for it, right? Like there's a number of these things that I know for a fact that Forrest Frank watched and didn't say, "Oh, we should not make fun of this person in their tragedy." Right? We should not be remixing this person who's experiencing trauma. If you got a line, you got to stick to it. Which leads us into this current thing, which it seems like Forrest Frank will draw a line and then not stick to it. I don't think awards should be given for things that are for Jesus and from Jesus, which is a bit pretentious in itself. That you're hearing directly from the Lord. He gave you
and the most
this
important
divine
thing he says to you.
sick hook.
Yeah, God told me to write this, but I don't think we should get awards for it. Look, if God explicitly wrote this song with you, you need to make sure that there's an award involved.
It's like the antithesis of the Ouija board, right? The demon is just guiding your hand to the answer. Mm-hmm. He just puts his hand on the keyboard in the mixing, and he goes, Holy Spirit, just do your work. Just do your work. You go, oh, synth there? Oh, he works in mysterious ways.
He's just... Oh, okay, you rascal. Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, bass drop? Classic J-Man, you know? So it is I get it. Like, I think that we should be a little careful of what we say is from the Lord. I think that it is like we are talking about with great film. I generally compare Jesus to great film. It's not until 10, 15 years later that we can look at something and be like, oh yeah, that actually was that really was a good movie. I think let's make the song, let's see the impact, and then 10 or 15 years later, be like, oh, that was such a God moment. Like I did hear from God in the moment, right? Not like, listen, man, I'm just an open vessel, just ready for the Lord to work through me, and everything I write is from Jesus.
Like you have to really see the fruits.
I get
from your stuff to like.
I get the concept because I do think that what I am doing is hopefully participating in the kingdom of God, which is like from the gifts of the Holy Spirit. I'm very big into working in the gifts of the Holy Spirit, which I think is from Jesus. I just think that we got to be careful with how we, because it just sets you up in. It just sets you up in a.
I saw a guy named Mike Winger who does a lot of like interesting stuff on YouTube. He does like a lot of, honestly, he does like a lot of criticisms of pastors that seem like they're.
He's really smart. I like him.
He's a very smart guy. I'm not 100% sure what I think of like his whole shtick, but I think he's a genuine dude. But anyway, I heard him say like with reformed people or unreformed people, like this argument about like what theology is best. he goes, people do this so often, and he goes, I'm a reform guy, but this is such a stupid thing to do. He goes, reform people will say, if you don't believe in God this way, you believe in a stupid God. And he's like, so what happens when you get to heaven and God is not the way that you think? You've called him stupid.
Yeah.
Like I think he called it like putting out the fleece, right? Like in Judges, he's like, you're fleecing, you're putting out the fleece. What you're really saying is, if you disagree with me, you're really disagreeing with God.
Right.
And that's the vibe of this like current.
It's a bit of an arrogant, following
like,
God.
Well, if you don't like this music, God gave it to me. And it's like, own the fact that you created it. And give God the glory if it's good. And this is like literally, I just think the right way to be a Christian. Like, give God the glory if it's good and take the blame if it's bad.
Yeah, but also too, it's like, hey man, God has given me this gift and passion to make music. And sometimes you don't like my music, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I'm sure that some people looked at the temple and were like, not my style. I wouldn't have done that in my living room, but like you know.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that carved out the pomegranates or whatever? Was that the Prayer of Jabez? Remember that hit book 25 years ago? And in the Bible.
Everyone was like, this book's never going away.
What about? No, it wasn't the Prayer of Jabez. I don't know. It was something, shout out Brian Herrick. He gave it to me.
There was a book about the guy that carved the pomegranates.
It's like a small thing in the temple, and it's like, it seems insignificant. The concept is there. But listen, some people are like, I don't know, pomegranates are like overtly sexual. We shouldn't put that on the temple. You know, whatever.
I guess I'm going to go get rid of all of these private parts I carved.
I'll just say, there's critics everywhere, whether it's from God or not.
Just wieners carved everywhere that he has to go and turn into pomegranates. He's like, oh, I didn't know. I thought this was Solomon's temple. I apologize. Sorry.
There's a line drawn from Forrest Frank, and he's not sticking to it. Don't submit your work. Yeah. Ben, did you say Frank Ocean?
Yeah. So Keen's Kaleidoscope had a comment that I had this thought
it's probably a better comp.
When I first saw the Forrest post this, I was like, I'm pretty sure you submit your own music. And then I looked at the comment section, Keen's Kaleidoscope right at the top. So they're in local. They're here in
Seattle.
Seattle based.
Yeah, and so I love them. I've seen them live like 3 times. And they were like, like, hey, we agree with you, and so we have never submitted our music. And other popular artists like Frank Ocean famously has never done it, and his music is amazing.
Yeah.
And
my favorite comment was, and maybe I'm just a drama queen, so I like the more dramatic post, because King's Kaleidoscope it was pretty pointed, but it was very kind. They were like, hey, a really clean way to do this is not submit your music the way we have or the way Frank Ocean has. Then you don't have to say this.
Right. Well,
but Jelly Roll, the famous, like hyper famous country music sensation, Jelly Roll, saw it and posted and said, you don't want to take the trophies from Jesus, but you're going to keep the profits from the stuff you made for Jesus? That feels a little weird.
Yeah.
There's this sort of holier than thou kind of mentality that he's been having. I think it feels like Forrest really needs to humble himself a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He humbles himself every day when he forgives people that hurt his feelings.
I'm just so humbled to be here. You know,
he's just I can't believe that you would even say that.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Moms in their 40s everywhere are going to rise up and murder you.
Yeah, and their 12-year-old sons. Last episode, Jesse mentioned how I think the conversation that should have been had originally is, hey, like if you can't handle the criticism or any of the positive feedback, then maybe you should like question how much you post and what you put online. But if you genuinely believe that everything you do is from God, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Then you have to do it. And so but then doing that, you can't criticize any of it because it's from God. And so if you put that up there, it's like, oh, it's from God, so everything I do is right. And then also, and to touch what Darius said, some of his behavior being manipulative, instead of having that conversation of like, this really hurt my feelings, maybe I shouldn't have posted it, maybe it wasn't from God. Or maybe it was, I don't know. But it then turned into, well, I just think we need a conversation about what you post in guardrails. And so it turned to not what I can do, what
well, the
everyone else.
goalpost moves.
Yeah.
That's what a manipulative person does in an argument when they realize that they're cornered is they move the goalposts. I can't even talk about it anymore.
So all of that to be said, I think you got to draw some lines. You got to stick to it, and don't. Also, especially if you're a Christian artist, I don't think this is good human behavior anyway. But especially if you're a Christian artist who are supposed to be above reproach, don't set yourself up so that you can grandstand people. It's not a good. It's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
The church has been criticized for it for a lot of years, and we're trying our darndest to
almost 1,000.
Yeah, like we're trying our darndest to get rid of that kind of thought process towards us, and you're not helping. You're not helping
ruining
us.
the vibe.
You're ruining the vibe.
I want to say, I think there's a very small group of people who see Forrest Frank and roll their eyes. And there's also this principle, and I don't want to forget this because I like to make fun of people, and I don't want to forget this. God's definitely, obviously, whether Forrest has good intentions or not, God's obviously clearly using him and using the work that he's doing to impact lots of people. And so, man, if God's going to do it, like Jesus says to the disciples, and they're like, hey, this other guy is like saying stuff in your name. And Jesus is like, okay, let him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if good stuff is going to happen, then it's going to be fine. Like we're focused on what we're doing over here. And so I have to remind myself, okay, like
and that's
if there's
a really good transition to kind of talking about now what can we do in a similar situation. You bring that up, and I think of Genesis 50:20. When God says Joseph tells his brothers, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. It's the Forrest Frank.
Still got goosebumps from the verse reference.
Oh, I still got it. Still got it.
My spine.
No, I love that. Like
that's awesome.
It is a great point. I like calling Forrest Frank's work evil, but God is still doing good through it. But I do. There is definitely that element, right? Of like, hey, let's do what we think, is best, and then let God like work with it. And so you have to be humble. This like early Reformed people. I was like reading some stuff with creativity. They're not into it. They don't like the idea of creativity because they literally
it makes you smile.
They think that you're playing God. They go, only God can create something out of nothing. And then you're like, well, we were made in his image. And they go, stop that. Stop playing God. I'm like, it's just clay. So, why did I bring that up? It doesn't matter. But here's what we're talking about: the self-promotion. Oh, also one more thing, and not to throw Corey Asbury out, but also he was like, it kind of made me sick that you're like overnight a millionaire. You go, yeah, like if it really did make you like super sick, and he's kind of he's made some stuff. It's so easy to like write a check or do a direct deposit. I love who's the Rick Warren. Rick Warren. He tithes 90%.
Yeah.
He lives on 10%, tithes 90%. Yeah. He stopped taking a salary as soon as his book like sold millions of copies. He stopped taking a salary from his church and lives on 10%.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I don't know how much Joel Osteen tithes, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like Joel Osteen's preaching because they say it's just not Bible teaching. I don't listen to him preach, so I don't know. But he also like people talk about like how like how bad it is that his church pays him so much money. His church pays him nothing.
Yeah,
he gets nothing from the work he does for his church.
Yeah,
he makes money from his books. His church probably helps promote the books quite a bit.
Sure,
but regardless, he makes no money from the church.
Yeah,
I have no issue like, and there's even some stuff that I don't know if you heard like everyone wants to do their own halftime show, which I think is kind of annoying.
Everyone wants to do their own halftime show?
Yeah, because there's been pushback.
How can we do all of our own halftime shows when Bad Bunny is doing the halftime show?
We're going to have our own. You flip the channel and then you can watch a different one.
If you split, but if you split the halftime show up, then it's not a halftime show up. You're going to have a quarter time show.
Quarter time show.
And
then every time it gets split up,
it's a good point.
I bet you everybody who is complaining about Bad Bunny has not actually listened to Bad Bunny. I was like that. I knew who Bad Bunny was. I watched him do a sketch on SNL, and then he performed at the SNL 50. And I'm not anti Bad Bunny. I'm like, I don't listen to music that only has Spanish lyrics. In the same way that I don't listen to K-pop. But because I like to sing along, regardless of how bad it is. But then Bad Bunny played, and I was like, this is not the style of music that I thought was gonna be the most popular music. Like it's like catchy, good music, right? With like a Latin flair. You want to move. You can't.
Careful with those movements, Jesse.
You can't help
Careful.
I mean, you would not believe what my hips are doing underneath.
You can't see his shoulders moving, but his hips are completely detached.
They're running around this room. Yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
So everyone's trying to do their whole halftime show, and now everyone's being more critical because you have a lot of these same artists like Forrest and Corey wanted to do their own, and now TPUSA are going to do their all-American one, and it's just like kind of a... And then now even like people are like, oh, well, are you just going to... Well, you better just give whatever money you get from the show to charity, like, because you've now set yourself up like, oh, I'm too humble. I can't. No, well, it's not about the money. It's about this. And so now everyone's being critical for every way that you make money. Now everyone's going to be looking at, dude, it's fine. If you want to make music and get millions of dollars, that's great.
I was going to say, it's not necessarily, the people who are like, oh, an all Spanish, like halftime show, like, what? There's like 40% of Americans speak Spanish. It's okay. So it's fine, man. I don't know how many people actually speak Spanish.
No, like
you're doing a halftime show for illegals? Huh?
Well, we shouldn't have jumped into the halftime thing because we need a whole other episode.
We need a whole other episode, and you'll get that eventually. What were you going to say? Oh,
no, about
the money. I was going to say,
sorry,
listen,
Ben,
if you want to make your own halftime show, if you go, hey, you like my music? We're streaming a live concert that's going to go live right at the halftime show. Do it. That's actually a pretty good idea.
It's a great idea.
Pretty good idea.
It's actually genius.
And you should be able to make money from that because, listen, if you have people who like your music, you should get paid for the stuff that you put out. So here is...
Gross. You're sounding like a capitalist.
Here's the tension here. Here's the tension here. Is self-promotion, is bad? Is it good? And I think that... because Corey Asbury in the podcast, he said self-promotion is antithetical to the gospel. And one, I haven't used the word antithetical before in my life. And since then, I've used it 9 or 10 times.
Nice.
Good word.
Which is funny, you actually look almost identical to Corey Asbury.
I
get a little longer hair.
And I look like Ruslan.
Dude, yeah, a little bit. He's a little cleaner cut than you are, bigger muscles, but stronger jaw. But yeah. Other than that,
are we just saying people that we wish? Yeah. And I look like Alan Richardson. Everyone always says.
You look like Alan Richardson if his mom took a bunch of Tylenol.
It is not literally. That's a sick part. Did he go too far? We don't know.
That's a really good one.
Now that you do say it, though, out of everybody who is like, oh, you look like this, I'm like, I don't see it. When you were like, you kind of look like Corey Asbury, I'm like, oh, yeah, like baseball hat, beard.
You guys look strikingly similar.
Yeah. I wish that I could sing like him.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, well, you can't.
Rick, give me that reckless love. Every time it makes me laugh. What's the song?
No, I like this rendition.
You like this one better?
Please sing more. This is so good. Give me a little reckless love.
What the heck's on Jimmy's head? A little bit of reckless love. Now I'm not even on photograph.
See, no, it's photograph. It took me all that time to figure out it's photograph. That's so good.
But
every time I reckless love.
every time I reckless love.
I get a little reckless love. I give a little reckless love. And then I take a little reckless love. This is my new game. Is just
what
changed.
is this?
Royalty-free country.
Oh, it's royalty-free country.
Hit us with it.
I'm so bad at music. I don't even know when to come in.
I can't hear the music.
No, you can't hear it.
I'm just trusting in Jesus.
Right, I'm gonna count.
Jelly
Ready?
roll. 29.
1, 2.
Got a little reckless love. Singing from my 6th string. I don't know what rhymes with love, but I can sing this thing. I think I'm off beat already. I'm so bad at. I wish every time that there's somebody who is funny and they're also musically talented. I get so jealous, man.
Yeah.
You should have just sang about Jesus.
I murder them. What?
You should have been singing about Jesus, and then you could have just been like, "Well, it's for God."
Coming for you, Corey.
You can't. It's not that bad.
This is from Jesus. Don't you dare critique me. So anyway, Corey Asbury said self-promotion is antithetical to the gospel.
Yep.
Right? Which means, I had to look it up. It's just the opposite. It's the opposite of the gospel.
Corey, we could have just said opposite, but that's fine.
The gospel is all about promoting. Yeah, in a way, he's self-promoting his great vocab. The gospel is about promoting Jesus. That literally every good thing that happens, glory unto the Lord, right? Like Jesus came into the earth, lived a perfect life, died, rose again, ascended back into heaven, and through his life, death, and resurrection, we get to be saved. We get to have communion with the Almighty.
And now we have the gift of the Holy Spirit.
And we have the gift of the Holy Spirit. And that only comes through the physical evidence of speaking in tongues. The gospel. And that's it, right? Like, it is promoting Jesus, because Jesus gave us everything, right? Everything we can do, the freedom that we get to live in is from Jesus.
I mean,
and so when you promote yourself, when you say, hey, I've got this thing that you might like, pay me money for it. They're like, someone who is all in on the promotion of the gospel could potentially feel a little bit like, I don't know if I should do this. Like, I feel a little sleazy, honestly, every time I'm like, you should read my book. I think it's really good. You know what I mean? It feels wrong. But if you don't do that, you'll never be able to make money doing your thing.
Yep.
And also, like, when it comes to, like, well, here's back to Forrest's thing. If your whole thing was about promoting Jesus and that's where you write your songs for people to know Jesus, like, then go to the Grammys, and when you get your award, tell people about Jesus.
You could use the platform.
You can use that platform. You
can mix it into the...
or you can literally walk up there and say, thank you so much, I don't accept this.
Yeah.
If you really want to be
a bit
radical,
dramatic, but...
Well, here's the funny thing is, I don't think that's a good idea.
Brando style.
But I think, I don't think that's a good idea. But I think if you want to be dramatic, then do something actually dramatic. That's probably part of my big problem with the internet, is you can get on a camera and post something and say, I'm going to be bold. And I'm like, you're not being bold.
Yeah.
You're at home in the safety of like your living room. You're saying it's bold that someone's watching a video of you somewhere else on the planet, and they're going to see what you say. Yeah. You want to be really bold? Then freaking fly to Jordan. and then go preach on the streets. And then you can tell me that you're bold when people could maybe kill you.
Right.
Otherwise, don't like claim that you are making this bold thing when you're just doing it from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
You want to make a big splash. You want to make a big statement. Go. You already submitted your music to the Grammys. Go to the Grammys. When they call your name, say, break it in half and
Also,
say, screw this, screw all of this. This is all bad. Like,
also in today's world, it is like, even in the 90s and early 2000s, you were so reliant on the big companies, the big production companies, the big movie studios. You had to have them do something that you could have success. You know what I mean? Like, and so if you were to make a stance that goes against the studios or whatever, it's a pretty big risk, because they go, especially if you circle all the way back to like the 40s and 50s, where you literally were on salary and they just like put you in movies. They go, well, stop paying you your paycheck.
Yeah.
And then in the 60s and 70s, like Brando, like stopped kind of being put in movies for a bit because he let a Native American woman accept his Oscar, and they were like, that whole drama. But it was a little bit of a risk.
John Wayne almost beat that woman.
You got the 6 shooters out. They're back.
Well, the story I heard was that, and
John Wayne's a character actor. He only.
This story. Well, I know what to do with that woman, Pilgrim. No, that he was like visibly angry and was like frothing at the mouth, and they had to restrain him.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry,
I mean, it was like Will Smith, but they actually restrained him.
Keep my country's name out of your freaking mouth.
So,
Pilgrim.
but my point is, today with the internet and with all of the micro like facets that people make their millions of dollars, the Dropout, the like College Humor turned their online platform Dropout. They have a show on there that walks through Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, 3-hour videos. They literally just film content of these people playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's hilarious.
It's great.
They sold out Madison Square Garden to read Dungeons and Dragons, to play Dungeons and Dragons. They sold out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
That would have never happened in the 90s.
10 years ago.
Even 10 years.
Ago,
you say,
YouTube.
hey, we've got this show. We're going to like film like young adults playing Dungeons and Dragons. And they're like, get out of here. Stop wasting our time.
Well, as like a comedian, you had at the very least to get to the like an MSG sort of place.
That was when Andrew Dice Clay sold out Madison Square Garden in the late 80s, early 90s. They go, he's the biggest guy in the world. Yeah. And everybody knew who Andrew Dice Clay was as a comedian.
But he had, before he got there, he had to have cable networks promoting him. Yep. He had to be on other.
He was on the HBO stand-up specials for years, right?
Meaning these are like huge megacorps that own these broadcast companies that you have to get in their graces in order to get to that. And you don't have to do that anymore.
In the 90s, if you go out and you ask 20 people who Andrew Dice Clay was in the early 90s, everybody would know. I would say 19 out of 20 would know Andrew Dice Clay. Even if you are not a Christian, or even if you are a Christian and you're like, that's super offensive. But obviously I know who Dice is.
Because you heard Jerry Falwell preach about him.
Yeah. I don't know who he is. I'll make that clear, but I don't like him.
He probably plays Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
And if I go out right now and ask 20 random people what Dimension 20 is, nobody knows. Like 0 of 20, maybe 1 or 2 if I find the right niche.
If you go in the right spot,
The fact is, so if you go, I'm going to go do this bold thing where I tell people about Jesus on the stage, who cares? You're going to do that, and you're actually going to profit more from it than if you didn't do it, because everybody will come out of the woodworks to say, what an amazing person who did this bold thing. And now you're going to have another 500,000 followers on Instagram or Twitter, whatever.
Whatever.
TikTok. Threads.
All of those. Well, the weird thing is none of those places has fallen off. The thing now is everyone posts on every platform.
So
there is no one platform.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna receive profits from all of that. So
which is why we also post on YouTube. Check us out, NewWayStories.
Check us out on YouTube.
All in words.
We're gonna. You want to see something bold? We're gonna.
Yep. What are we gonna do?
Just check us out.
We're gonna
on
murder
YouTube.
a person live on air.
It works for some movements. But okay. So the whole go do something bold. It just is not bold anymore because
there's a niche.
in the old days the thing you were risking was your livelihood.
Yep.
Okay. Now you're not risking your livelihood. You're actually doing a stunt that will promote
100%.
your livelihood.
100%.
And so, but okay, self-promotion, back to it. What is, well, let's lean into Pastor Darius. What's this genuine question, what is like the tension of glorifying God, doing a thing that you feel like, I feel like I have gifts from God. And I'm not saying that in a way that I'm like, this gift is from the Lord, but like the things that I'm passionate about, the things that I do, I think are from God in a way that I do them and I enjoy them. And people also seem to have some amusement out of them. And then the self-promotion of to say, hey, you should hire me. I am pretty funny. I could actually do a really good job for you at your event to do stand-up.
I think self-promotion is not like, one, we don't have the term self-promotion in the New Testament. What we have is I think it's Matthew 12:12, and Jesus says like whoever wants to be your servant is going to be the last, and whoever's last is going to be first. And so like this idea of like whoever wants to be your master is going to be your servant, whoever wants to be a servant is going to be the master. Like this idea, it's not about economy, it's not about livelihoods, and it's not about producing or professing your art or a product that you have. Jesus is talking about something like completely holistic. He's saying like, if you desire that you are first and that you get to be served and that everyone else caters to you, then that's when your heart is in the wrong place.
Yeah.
If you want to serve people, like this idea of self-promotion, you can say that I think it would be appropriate for Corey Esper to say for him to have said my relationship with self-promotion was antithetical to the gospel.
Yeah.
Because if self-promotion becomes something for your soul that is genuinely has nothing to do with how you can serve or help other people, or how you can, even more than that, glorify God. I think it's Galatians 2:20. And Paul says, I've been crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I live in the flesh, I live in the power of God who loved me and gave his life for me. So like this idea that like, it's not about me, that doesn't mean that it being not about me doesn't mean that I shouldn't be telling people what I'm doing or what God has given me the ability to create. That I just don't think those ideas are connected.
Yeah.
What is connected is the question for us all is, what is your relationship with self-promotion? What's your relationship with attention? What's your relationship with people serving you?
I mean, it's such a easy, basic answer that it kind of, like the old Sunday school joke where you go, well, the answer is Jesus. You go, well, okay, yeah. And it kind of circles back to like, well, it's a heart issue, right? Like where is your heart in this? And I think when you're talking about, as you were talking, I realized that we have a double standard on art or things that we've created. That when you're in your job, you want a promotion. You like are looking for a promotion, and like it's not a sleazy thing to do, like to point out like work that you did, right? Or like climbing up, you go, I'm going to do this so that I can climb up the corporate ladder so that I can get more money, that I can live more comfortably and take care of my family. And again, there's obviously hard issues inside of that. Like, I want to make more money to provide for my family and to be more generous is a different statement than I want more money because I want more yachts. I like more yachts. Not one, but more. I'm never going to buy.
I would like more yachts.
It doesn't matter how rich I ever get in my life. I will not buy a boat. It's just too much work.
Dude, if you had the money to pay somebody else?
Well, good point. Good point. Yeah. So there's that element of it that, like, I think creativity is a very intimate thing. And so it feels wrong. You like feel like you're prostituting yourself out almost. Like to say, like, you should pay me money to read my book that I like kind of poured my time and effort into. And then which is not a thing, right? And it just feels different if somebody else recognizes you and says, oh, here's like, but even submitting my book, even submitting my manuscript to a company is a self-promotion, is to say you should publish my book. I've done something good, but it feels, because it's not personal, right? You're sending it to a corporation, you're sending it to an entity rather than say, oh, you like horror comedy? I actually think you would like my book. Like, I've written a good horror comedy, and then, I'm not going to be a sleaze about it. And I was at an author fair, and these old ladies came up. I go, I've got, I was like, I don't want to make any assumptions here. Doesn't necessarily seem like the books you guys are into. I've got a space epic. It's kind of like Han Solo character. And I got a horror comedy about mutant rats. And they go, yeah, maybe not our thing. I go, absolutely. There's a lady over there who's writing like historic fiction. You should visit her booth. But like, if they're like, oh, I actually really like those, I'm like, then check it out.
Or
like,
I have a family member.
Right. Yeah.
Who's totally into that.
Absolutely. And that's what I usually bring up for Space Pioneer. I'm like, I'm gearing this towards, hopefully like junior high or high school guys or whatever. And they go, oh, I've got a grandson. Boom.
Dude,
awesome.
I think that so much of this stuff, I think everyone, like, I think, one, you shouldn't lie when you self-promote. And I don't want to harp on this, but this is one of the things that and maybe it's because I'm not a digital native like Gen Z is, but when I see people disingenuously self-promoting, like a video that's like, this guy's never heard my song before, watch him react for the first time. And I'm like, well, but he obviously has heard the song before.
Yeah.
And this is obviously put on. So just don't lie. Like, and maybe it's normal to lie on the internet, but you know what? It was normal in the 80s to cheat people in business and to redline neighborhoods. Just because it's normal, don't mean it's right. So like, think about it. But I think we shouldn't lie in self-promotion. But also, like, I think just when it comes to it's so funny. Like you said, it's a hard thing. It's on both sides. If self-promotion and what you get when someone gives you attention, this is maybe not helpful for people, but if the feeling that you get when you get the attention is a better feeling than you get when you think on how good the Lord has been to you, if you're a Christian, and I would say if you're not a Christian, if that feeling is the best feeling in the world to you, that's dangerous. Whether you're a Christian or not, it's
not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. And that's an indication, even if you're not a Christian, it's an indication that you've got some emotional things that are not calibrated and are damaged in you. And if you're a Christian, and when you serve, it's the best feeling in the world, knowing I served more than everybody else, or I served. Everyone else is going to be so thankful that I made myself the lowliest servant. I'm the humblest.
Yeah.
If that feeling and that identity is a better sense to your soul than the reality that you don't have to serve God to make him happy, that he's pleased with you because he loves you and you're never going to outserve him, then that's an idol in your life as well. You have like Martha in the story, Mary and Martha, you have an idolatry to being the servant and
Yeah.
being the most humble and being the most religious.
In high school, I wanted to be like when like Jesse was the Christian kid. Like that was I liked that.
Mhm.
I also had you could change banners on your like text banners on your phone, and so my first phone was not a flip phone. It was just a normal brick phone, but it said the humblest. I enjoyed that. Was always
it's a really good joke.
It was always a fun bit.
Really,
the
really
other
good
thing
joke.
too about I think self-promotion, and this you were kind of talking about it with humility. Why are you self-promoting, right? That's is a good question. Why are you trying to get it out there? I would like to make a living off of my books and stand up and all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm self-promoting. And in order to do that, people have to know about my book and I have to get it out there, right?
Yep.
And I have to believe in it, right? I don't want to sell filth. I believe in the thing that I'm putting out. But then there's self-promotion for power. And I think what you're talking about too in the Bible is like Jesus kind of is consistently talking against like
people having power,
like thoughts of empire. Like it's too big of a thought, right? Like is when a man is like, I'm going to be the ruler of them all, right? Because that's too big of a thought. And that's why like the humble, like you think the normal thing is in life, I should try to get to the highest place of power so that I will then have it the easiest. But the gospel is
antithetical to the world.
Antithetical to the world. No, what's subversive, right? To what our natural thinking is. And Jesus is saying, do not seek power because that actually will lead to your destruction.
Yeah.
Seek being humble, and then ultimately you will receive the most in the kingdom of God. Like like the humble will rise to the top, and the powerful are the ones who will ultimately fall. And so I think that's another thing in self-promotion where you go, are you trying to be famous for self-promotion?
Yeah.
That's like, do you want to wield fame? That's a different game than like, I'm going to like put myself out there so that I can like make money playing music.
Yep. Well, dude, I heard somebody the other day say, they said, and it's somebody who I love and respect, but they said, it's amazing to see how many people have been impacted by recent current events, and major people too. And I was like, God, I can't tell you how much I hate that. And I love this person, and I know that they're well-intentioned, but I'm like, there's actually no major people.
They're not necessarily meaning, but
there's no
it's a funny.
Like, somebody, well, what they mean is somebody with major influence. And I'm like, this idea that Christians have that like really irks me is, oh man, if Tim Tebow gets saved, then everybody's going to get saved.
Tim Tebow's already saved, man.
That's what I mean.
Exactly. J316 proved it.
Are you talking about like a Joe Rogan? Like
listen, of a Joe Rogan.
What'd you say?
It's like
if Joe Rogan got saved.
This is so funny to me that I'm like, oh, so you think that the influence that Joe Rogan has, whether you've said it out loud or not, you have an underlying, unspoken, maybe unacknowledged belief that the influence Joe Rogan has is actually greater than the influence that the Spirit of God has.
The God of the universe.
Wild. And that's not even the part really that irks me about it the most. Maybe it should be. The part that irks me about it the most is like, oh, so like when a crackhead gets saved and their life gets turned around and they've only been kicked around, beat up, abused, neglected, hurt. And maybe they've done some awful things as well. Maybe they've made some really poor choices and really destructive things. But when somebody who's really like deeply broken and practically broken gets saved, well, that's not a major person. It's just like one of those. I'm like, man, I really think maybe you haven't read the Gospels, because Jesus seems to think a great deal about how those are the major people.
When I was listening to a lot of Christian hip hop,
Crop.
from Portland, beautiful eulogy. My guys, there's a line where he goes, we don't need more celebrity, what is it? Oh, celebrity crit. I ruined the line. Dang it. We don't need more. Essentially, we don't need more celebrity Christians. We need more gospel-centered churches. And it's it's a good, You're like, you don't. It
would have been more impactful if you remembered it correctly.
Yeah. Let me try one more time.
Give it one more try.
We don't need more gospel-centered churches. What the hell's on Timmy's head? That's just always always the follow-up line.
It's a little bit of reckless love sitting there on Timmy's head. His head is full of reckless love, and there's reckless love in his bed.
I think the final thing that I want to talk about this is that, like I was saying, there's no real consequence of doing something bold because your livelihood is not going to be, the one downside of not having major studios being the only ones who are putting out movies and major record labels putting out music is that there's so many small things that now I don't really get to share with it. It's different than in early 2000s, 90s, where you go, did you see that movie in theaters? And you go, yeah, because it was one of 5 movies in theaters and I watched it, right?
Yeah.
That's not the thing anymore. There's a new movie on Netflix every week. There's a new movie on Amazon every week, fill in the blank. But inside of that as well is that you can be a completely indie artist and make a living. Yeah. And I have never liked the idea of sitting around and waiting for somebody to give me my break. Right? Like Corey mentioned that. He goes, you should do your thing, and then like when you're ready to break, you're ready to break. And it's like, you can say that now because you wrote a song that like made you millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And you go, just like bide your time. You know how many people like don't get the break? Like you have to have incredible talent. Yeah. You have to have incredible luck, and it's timing. Like I was listening to an interview with Weird Al. He did something on like wherever he's from, Cincinnati or whatever. He like did a dumb song on Cincinnati radio, and the like exec of the major radio company was there and was like, oh, this is really funny. And then like 6 months later, he's recording an album in LA. If he wouldn't have done it at that time, he would have not ever been Weird Al, right? There's this celebrity chef who was very popular in the late 90s, early 2000s, Jamie Oliver. He was literally a chef at a restaurant, and the like local news crew was like, hey, we're doing, or it wasn't a news crew, it was like a PBS style show. Mm-hmm. And they were like, hey, we just want to like film what's happening in the kitchen. And he was working that day, and they were like, hey, can you just like tell us what you're doing? And he goes, oh yeah, sure. And then he's like
very charismatic.
Yeah, he's walking them through it. And then he goes, literally the next day I'm getting calls from studios saying, have you ever thought about a cooking show? And
that's so funny.
Now he's, in the cooking world, he's
just perfect convergence.
Yeah, right. And it's just like, if he wasn't working that shift, if that camera crew would have never come in, he still would be slinging in a dirty kitchen somewhere, like doing, and listen, it's the thing that you love, but like your life would have been completely different. So the idea of, just sit back and let your break like happen, it's not going to happen in Yakima. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to, like, I don't know. Nate Bargatze's coming to town January 10th. Yeah. And I'm like, how can I like work my way into opening for this dude? Outside of that, like, it's not going to happen for me. I'm not going to just keep going to Bill's, doing the open mic and be like, my break will happen. No, you got to like, you have to put yourself out there. You have to do, and even just putting yourself out there isn't enough. Like, we post this podcast and we've got now like 100 listeners a week, which is more than what we started with. So I guess in a way it works. But at the same time, it's like
YouTube has pretty much doubled our listeners from Spotify.
Like we don't do a ton of intentionality to get ourselves out there. We post it and have fun, and we love, the 60 to 100 people who listen every week.
Absolutely, you guys are the best.
We love that you guys are along for the ride.
Even Andrew, who told me he didn't like the podcast, but he listened to it every once in a while.
You have to put yourself out there and promote yourself in a way to make it to where you can do the thing that you love full time.
I also think if you're doing something and you think that it's valuable and you're afraid to self-promote because you're like, well, like I don't want to make it all about me, then I think you're making it all about you.
Yeah.
By saying that. And I don't say that to be harsh. I say that as somebody who really struggles with that.
Dude.
Is it's like when, like as a pastor, people will compliment you and most pastors hate it.
Yeah.
And what you just learn over time is if you can't take the compliment and give that compliment to the Lord, then what you really believe deep down is that it is about you.
And in the same, I actually had this counseling session that was not about this at all, but I mentioned, I'm like, it feels weird, right? When people are like, oh, great job. And then you're like, you want to deflect it, right? You want to be like, oh, it's all from the Lord, right? All from J-Man. Not me. That's not me. But like, again, that is to be like, oh, you're so holy that you like received every word straight from Jesus. He goes, what if you just said, thank you? Like, I'm glad you appreciated it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. That does make sense.
I worked hard on that and I'm glad that it blessed you.
Yeah.
And God gets all the glory. But man, sometimes I just tell people, depending on if they say something that's personally significant to me, I'll say, oh man, that's actually really nice to hear. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like it actually really encourages me that you would say that. And that's again, like that's actually making it not about you.
Right.
That's allowing God to use you, make your art, make your stuff, produce your stuff. And if you think that it's something valuable, don't make it about you. Share it with people and promote it to people and let them get value from it. Don't hoard it because you're so afraid that you will be rejected or you will be judged. Don't make it about you. Make it about the thing that you've done.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And in the spirit of this episode, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms.
God,
make sure you check us out on YouTube. If you are in the Enumclaw, West Coast, just all of the West Coast, make sure you visit Darius's church in the Regal Cinema, and then you can catch Spinal Tap 2 right afterwards, which is a ton of fun.
We're actually going to play it during service, but yeah.
Rat Race on Amazon, Space Pioneer, absolutely. Or come see me at the coffee shop, Northtown Coffee House.
Make Ben show you his music.
Yeah, come on. Make Ben.
Find Ben on the street and make him play you his music.
He's got so much music and he doesn't put it out at all. Mm-mm. It's like
I'm more humble than everyone.
It's like a I say that about Ben all the time.
He submits
it's
it to
like
the
a
Grammys
diary of
every year.
music for you. It's
he has diary of music.
It's just for you. And then when people sneak in and break into your computer at one point, they're gonna read your diary of music
and be like, "Hey, this kind of sucks."
Yeah. When you get murdered, eventually people will say, "Well, does he have a diary? We need to look for clues," and it'll just be just a catalog of.
It'll sound like this:
sweet beats.
As they're arresting Malia, her hands behind her back, she's getting shoved into the squad car, and she goes, "I should have hidden the music better. I should have hidden the music better."
Was that one of yours?
No, I was gonna have you sing country again.
Oh, I can't.
I gotta go.
Jesus was
see y'all next week.
Jesus.
We're out here on the dusty trail. I'm a radio DJ. And we'll see you on Monday morning, bright and early, 6 a.m. Until then, keep the trails less dusty. Keep the chaps less assless. We'll see you then. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Straight to my grandma.